Can I tell you about my favorite part of Majora's Mask? Spoilers for a 25-year-old game, by the way. After collecting the transformation masks and beating the 4 main dungeons, Link waits to the literal end of the world to play one more song on his ocarina, the Oath to Order. Unlike a lot of the other songs that Link picks up on his journey, this one has no other use. The only time you can use it here. An oath, like a promise we're now looking to get fulfilled. This song represents our ability to connect Termina's past with its present, overcoming Majora's corruption and summoning the 4 giants to help us stop the descent of the moon. A song to ask the giants to help their long-lost friends. And for a moment, we succeed. The calamity is prevented. But then Majora reveals one more trick. Instead of bringing the moon down onto us, they bring us up into it, uniting the hero and the villain in one celestial body. And that's when we get to my favorite part. It's perhaps easy to dismiss the eeriness we feel in this area as a side effect from, the liminal nature of the moon, or the way the kids run around, the strange atmosphere, the fact that trees don't usually grow inside the moon. I, for one, am a big sucker for exterior spaces within interior spaces, and I can blame Mega Man 64 for that. But there's something else here, isn't there? Despite the horrendous exterior of the moon, inside, this is no Ganon's castle. There are no mandatory puzzles here. No long drawn-out cutscenes, no boss keys or big battles you have to do. For all intents and purposes, it's just a boss corridor, a reprieve before the climactic battle. Good versus evil, the hero versus the villain. That's all it is. I'll be the good guy, you'll be the bad guy. And when you're bad, you just run. That's fine, right? This is fine, right? Part 1. Order. Majora's Mask is a weird game. I think it's commonly known at this point that the development team was facing intense pressure to get this game out in a year. And if you talk to the construction workers all around Clocktown, you can hear the developers' thoughts in-universe coming out to you. Due to this time crunch, the developers were forced to use a lot of models and assets from Ocarina of Time, especially the character models. For example, in Majora, the banker is the beggar from Ocarina. Nice come up. The Gerudo from Ocarina, they're the pirates. Malon is 2 girls, Ingo is 3 guys, Muto the carpenter is, well, Muto the carpenter, but let's not overthink it. The point is that the reoccurring cast from the previous game may have been a budgetary decision, but it creates this strange effect within the game. These already familiar faces become more and more familiar to you as you repeat the 3-day cycle, over and over again, until they, as much as the world, become dreamlike. Just like any other Zelda game, Link takes time out of his world-saving routine to help the common people with little tasks or quests or mini-games to help them or help him along on his quest. But unlike the rest of the Zelda games, these quests, these games, their effects are not really permanent most of the time. Every time you restart the 3-day cycle, their effects wear off. Each time you stop the moon, you turn back time on the good things you've done. And on a long enough time scale, it starts making your interactions with the people extremely utilitarian. Since you can't actually save them, it becomes more convenient to work their schedules and their quests into your own routine. So you plan, you memorize, and you kind of find your way around them. Likewise, your failures become much less important as well. Did you accidentally murder Sakon by hitting him with his sword? No problem. Just play the Song of Time and try again. And when you think about it, you should really just let him mug that old lady so that you can go on and help Kafei with his quest. Your actions don't matter anyways, right? Sometimes I hear online that when players want to finish the game, they like to do a perfect final day before going up into the moon. beat all the dungeons, do some quests if there's time, do your best to fix Termina before you go to finish the game. But I wonder, did they save everyone? Did they save Lulu's children? Did they help Pamela's father? Did they complete the important title deed side quest for the hopes and dreams of the business scrubs? One way or another, you run out of time. You can't save everyone. One way or another, you'll find yourself here at my favorite part of Majora's Mask. Part 2, Chaos. Majora's Mask is a weird game. Did you know that Termina's not real? I mean, not in the sense that the Zelda games are games and they're not real. I mean, even in the Zelda universe, Termina is not a real place. One of these official timeline books that Nintendo put out reveals that Termina is just an idea that the Skull Kid had that Majora made manifest. This has happened before, but it's still weird that it's happened twice. And in a way, it makes it so profoundly uninteresting. Like, nobody likes the "it's all a dream" ending. And it takes apart all of those weird feelings that we had. That feeling of disconnect, of dreamlike nature, of seeing the same things over and over again, were in fact because it was a dream. And all those people you met that are mirrored counterparts of Ocarina are just that, mirrored counterparts. You don't need to overthink if Lulu represents some kind of lost sadness in Ruto. One version of her has her children stolen, and then the other version, the world has stolen her chance to have children from her. No, they're just literally the same person. But if you think about it long enough, it starts to get interesting again. Well, at least in one specific way. Why did Majora create Termina with happiness? Let me explain. When we first get there, the land has been cursed, and the people, in one way or another, have all been pranked by the Skull Kid and Majora. The extent of each prank varies in cruelty, from changing you into a child to, I don't know, some light things he did, maybe the balloons. And all of it culminates on the final devious prank of crashing the moon into Termina. I think you're starting to get the question. If Skull Kid and Majora are so spiteful towards the people, why give them happiness in the first place? Why not birth them into this world already miserable? And of course the answer is obvious. There's no satisfaction in spite if there's nothing to lose. It's like building a sandcastle just to stomp it out. Though at the start and the end, it's the same, unless it's been turned into a castle, nothing really has been done. The transformation is the point. There's a meta-argument that without the conflict of Majora, there's no game for you to play. But there's also the in-universe argument that without Majora, there is no world for Link to save. Link doesn't get to play hero in Termina unless Majora and the Skull Kid create it first. Perhaps when Link plays the Oath to Order, we see a possible ending of two children playing together. Link has spent his time in Termina defying Majora's will, undoing all the fun that the Skull Kid and Majora have partaked in. Playing the bad guy. Perhaps this is when Majora decides to take their toys and go home, literally removing the game pieces of the world, one after another, until there's nothing left, until you find yourself here, in my favorite part of Majora's Mask. Part 3. Symbiosis. Majora's Mask is a weird game. You can pinpoint all the connecting lines between the characters of Ocarina and Majora, even theorize that Link in Ocarina is Kafei in Majora, but Kafei has cooler hair. But you'll never really succeed, because there are no people in Termina. Because the only counterpart to Link is the Skull Kid, and to both of them, Majora. Because the truth of the world is that yes, Termina is not real, but it's not an illusion created by Majora. It's more like a tabletop RPG game or an improv sketch where Link, Majora, and Skull Kid are all creating a world together. And since all stories are built on truths, the world of Termina is reflecting the beliefs of the three characters that made it, just like how the very real game of Majora's Mask reflects the beliefs and truths of the developers who created it. Termina is almost saved, but Majora does not like that ending, and so we're pulled into the moon. We never see the Skull Kid getting pulled into the moon, but he's there when we get there. He's the tree. I'm not kidding, I really like this. He's the tree. My favorite part of Majora's Mask is inside the moon. Despite being seemingly under the control of Majora, it is a lush field of beauty and serenity. It feels like paradise. Majora must hate this. It reeks of the horror of a story coming to completion, so close to the credits that it might as well be considered over. Once the story ends, Termina ceases to exist. The game world can't progress beyond here. A congratulatory cutscene, and then the end, and it's over. In a moment, Majora will ask us to play one more game. Link, of course, is the bad guy in the game, because isn't it bad to want a game to end? Through the tree, the Skull Kid's influence is everywhere. The four children mirror the four giants, and one figure is left alone. When we tell stories together, other people's truths bleed into our own, and we start believing things we may not have believed beforehand. And I wonder, did Majora know what loneliness was before the Skull Kid? If we want, we can play with the kids to get another reward. The Fierce Deity's mask talks about a dark power within, much like Majora's. When we tell stories together, other people's truths become our own. There's still much to do before the end, and when it does end, there'll be nothing left. So why don't we linger here a moment longer, pause and think about the people we've helped in the story so far, the monsters we've fought and adventures we've been on. Why don't we pause and stay here just a moment longer in my favorite part of Majora's Mask.